Hello everyone and welcome to another video by Centipede Geek. Today I'm going to do my final reactions video to the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and the PC game by the name of Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Just so you guys know, unfortunately I was not able to beat the game, not to the game being difficult. It was a pretty difficult game, but due to the fact of Ghost Recon Future Soldier's campaign. Just so you guys know, the campaign is a very long campaign, and I didn't want to keep the game for too long because I wanted to go ahead and get my next game, because the way I do it is I only play the game for a week just to kind of get the gist of it. That way I know if I want to buy it later on, and I will definitely be buying Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Definitely will be buying this game. Anyways, I couldn't beat the campaign because I had the game, as you know, for just a little under 2 weeks, and I still was playing it. So like I said, the campaign is very lengthy. One of the great things about Ghost Recon Future Soldier. So I don't know how far exactly I got, but I would like to say that I probably got just a little under halfway through the game, though I don't know. Trying to remember the last level I was on. I have a little difficulty remembering. But anyways, I probably wasn't even at the halfway point yet, but I did get at least, 6, 7, or 8 levels through. I got the gist of the controls, the gist of the storyline, the gist of the main mechanics of the game, Ghost Recon Future Soldier. So pretty much, I got the gist of the game, so I know my final reactions to it, even though I have not beat it yet. So anyways, my next game I'm getting from Gamefly is Borderlands 2. So be on the lookout for a Borderlands 2 first impression video in the next week or so. So anyways, let's get straight to my final reactions to the game Ghost Recon Future Soldier. If you watch my first impressions video, you know that I play this on my Xbox 360 with no cheats, and we're going to go ahead and get to the three main ideas I talk about. Of course, first of all, the graphics, the gameplay, and the storyline. So let's talk about the graphics of the game titled Ghost Recon Future Soldier. As I said in my first impression video, the graphics of this game are phenomenal. I didn't expect too much at first, but then I ended up seeing it, and I was like, wow, these graphics are really cool. There's a few great cutscenes I like, where blood splatters on the screen, as I said already in my first impressions video. I don't mean to repeat myself, but the really cool part about this game is that blood splatters on the screen about 2 or 3 times, at least in the segments that I played, and that was just a great way, makes it really innovative, and it really makes you get into the game, really in-your-face concept, and I really liked that feature of the game Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Now, the gameplay, like I said in my first impressions video, is sort of a Splinter Cell meets a third-person shooter. Well, I can now say that now that I have played through a good chunk of Ghost Recon Future Soldier, that this game, I say, perfectly blends third-person shooter and sneaking. You have so much freedom, and it's so versatile and diversity that you are able to do pretty much whatever you want. Now, there are some levels, like I said in my first impressions video, that where you have to actually sneak on a level, and there's also levels where there's so many guys where you're just going to have to go on a full-on firefight. But on a lot of the levels, you're very diverse. You can do this or this, so it's a lot of freedom. So that's one of the main upsides about Ghost Recon Future Soldier, that, it perfectly, like I said, perfectly blends third-person shooter, where if you want to go in full-on firefighting, throwing frags, you can, or if you want to crack their necks, slit their throats, and throw a smoke bomb or a flash grenade, you have that option too. So they really gave you a lot of freedom. Because I feel like a lot of first-person shooter games, no offense to games like Call of Duty and stuff like that, is they don't give you a lot of diversity. It's kind of just each level is kind of the same thing, and that's, a problem with a lot of first-person shooters, is that there's not a lot of diversity. But Ghost Recon lets you have that freedom where the game is still linear, it does still feel a little structured, but they give you enough freedom where you're able to be versatile also. So anyways, that's the gameplay. And now, my least favorite thing about Ghost Recon Future Soldier is the overall storyline. The storyline has not gotten much better, really, at all since my first impressions video. It's pretty much, like I said, your generic military guy where you're a hitman or a military guy and you go out and kill people. That's pretty much it. You capture them, you try to take people out alive. Though I will say the storyline is just kind of whatever, and you don't really care about the characters or anything, I will say the cutscenes are a whole different story. I can think of at least 2 or 3 cutscenes from the gist of what I played of Ghost Recon Future Soldier. There's one cutscene of a skyscraper, and this sort of nuke is dropped in this city, and then from I think it starts at either the top of the building or the bottom of the building. I can't remember which. But anyways, the glass from the building just starts to break level by level, story by story. The glass of the building starts to break, and that was really cool. And then it shows kind of like a found footage kind of deal, where this camera looks up and this guy gets punctured and gets killed by all the glass falling off these buildings, and this glass just starts falling from the sky, and it's just a total massacre. The game's rated MA for mature, of course, and it's a very bloody scene. Glass is just falling from the building, stabbing everyone in the streets, and it was just I really liked that cutscene. It was cool to see the building just fall apart, story by story, and watch the glass just, kill people. It was just really great cutscene. And then of course the cutscenes, with them running around and stuff is cool too. But that was fun. The beginning cutscene with Ramirez getting his skin burnt off, and then that cutscene with the building blowing up and people getting stabbed by the glass are definitely my two favorite cutscenes. And then of course the blood splatter on the screen. So though the storyline isn't really there's not much there. I wish there was a little more. Though I've come to expect that out of a military, third-person shooter-esque kind of game. You don't expect a good storyline. Though the storyline's kind of whatever, the cutscenes, the content of the cutscenes really come at you because they're really in your face. You don't really care about the story because there isn't much of one, but the cutscenes are worth watching, and they are very, I'd say, memorable cutscenes for what Ghost Recon Future Soldier tries to do. So I will say that the game can be difficult at times. Sometimes the whole meshing of the third person and the third person shooter and the sneaking, it meshes fine, but it's just I'm not used to it. I've never seen a game, so perfectly well blend third person shooter and then kind of a sneaking concept. I've never seen it blend so well that I'm not quite used to it. I'm used to like either shooting up full on or just sneaking. I'm not used to having the option to do both and then having to switch from this thing, from being tactile on one level and then having an all-out firefight on another level. So that's not a complaint. That's more of just a kind of, it's kind of one of those games you have to get used to because you're able to, like I said earlier, you're able to be so versatile where you can do both options and have so much freedom that it's not one of those games you can kind of just jump into because you have drones, and the drones are great. I don't know if I talked about this in my last video, but you have these little helicopter drones. I don't think I did because I wasn't far enough. But now when you progress in the game a few levels, you have these drones where you can fly them up over a level and mark people. And it's just so the drones are so cool that you can take out a whole area of people without even making one step forward. All you do is mark the enemies, and if you can mark them in a manner where no one else will know they died, then you can just mark all the enemies and have all your squad members kill them, and you never have to make a step. I've used that drone so many times. The drone can also land where you can go in between a squad of enemies and give them a sonic pulse, and the sonic pulse pretty much shocks them, and if you can kill them, if you can hurry up and mark them and kill them in time, then they won't have the time to tell others that you are detected and you are found out. And if you are found out, then you just have to do it the good old-fashioned firefight way, right? So anyways, the drone is a huge help, and probably, if not, one of the best features about the game titled Ghost Recon Future Soldier. So overall, the graphics are just downright amazing. No complaint about the graphics. The gameplay is pretty good. It's just something you got to get used to. It's a great gameplay. No complaints there. It's just you got to get used to it because it's just so different of a kind of gameplay. The customization, like I said in the last video, the customization is great. You can customize every feature of your gun, the silencer, any kind of feature you want, the magazine of your gun, the scope of your gun, the color of it for fashion reasons. Like I said, the customization of the options of the guns was really great. My only complaint of Ghost Recon Future Soldier is the storyline. The storyline just isn't there. So Ghost Recon Future Soldier is going to get just a slight, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 9 or maybe an 8.5 out of 10 because Ghost Recon Future Soldier is a really fun game, though it's probably not my favorite I've played out of the games I've gotten from GameFly. So far, I've gotten, I got Resident Evil 6, I beat Resident Evil 6, 3 of the campaigns, I beat the storyline on the easiest difficulty of Max Payne 3, and I got, probably halfway through Ghost Recon Future Soldier, and like I said, my first impression video will soon be coming for the Xbox 360 game titled Borderlands 2. So anyways, a solid 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed Ghost Recon, and not too much complaints besides the storyline. Anyways, once again, thanks for watching my final reaction video to the Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to my page below, and I will see you guys later with another video by Centipede Geek.